Just finished the 50k. That's the next goal. 100 kilometers. Let's see. I thought I had pushed myself that day, but had I? 80 kilometers did not really scare me. I said to do 100 miles plus. I thought strength and confidence came with age, but I realized they come from doing hard things, really hard things. I wanted to see how far my willpower could really take me, so I went ahead and signed up for a 50 miler, but it didn't give me the fear I needed. I had to find something that would really push me over the edge, something that I would need to attack with everything I have got, something that would force me to dig deeper than ever before. So I signed up for another race, a 100-mile race. I received the training plan from my mentor. The first 2 months really easy, low mileage, within my comfort zone. But after a few months, the training started to take a toll on my body. Back-to-back long runs destroyed my legs. I kept getting injured, so I had to take regular days off to recover. During this period, I realized I really needed to work on my consistency. I missed a lot of my smaller runs thinking they were too easy, they didn't add any benefit, and I had already run that distance. Few weeks before my 50 miler Niagara Ultra, I had gone for an easy 10k training run. As I was about to finish crossing the road, I could see some people on my path, so I try and go around them. I step on the edge of the footpath, but my right foot doesn't get enough grip, so it slipped, twisting my ankle and putting all of my body weight on it. Twisted my ankle around 1.5 kilometers. That training is for your mind and not your body. It will hurt, but I have to train my mind to keep pushing. After coming home, the ankle had swollen up. I could barely put any weight on it. Next day, I go to my chiropractor. I ask, "Hey doc, how bad is it? I have a race in few weeks, a 50 miler. Do you think it will be healed by then?" He looked at me, smiled, and then looks at my ankle and says, "Most ankles take a few weeks to heal. Let's see how fast yours heals." In short, my ankle was fucked. On the way home, I kept asking myself, how do I train now? I was already undertrained. Next few weeks were very important. It had the highest mileage and some of my longest runs. It's one of those times when the unthinkable happens. Something that is outside your control zone, and you feel it's over. These are the moments you can never really prepare for, you can never really train for, because you never know when they are coming or if they are coming. But I also learned this is where the winners push through. I focused on the solutions. I signed up for laser therapy and did regular stretching and walking. It got much better in the coming weeks. On my way to Niagara, I was really excited and energized. This was my first official ultra event. Even though I felt completely undertrained, I managed to finish it in 10 hours. It was the farthest I had ever ran. Luckily, the race was perfectly placed in my training calendar. It was the longest run before my deloading phase. After that race, something had changed. 1 week to the 100 miler, and came up for a morning run. Really had this drop. I know it's scary for me, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, I know my body is capable, but it's the mind that I need to convince. It knows the amount of pain and suffering I will go through. I've ran for maximum 10 hours. The 100 miler would require me to run. This is what I am thinking. It would take me 30 hours or 28 hours to finish if I maintain the pace I want to maintain. Thought I was training, but then I look at other people's training and I'm like, holy shit. I just could not get myself to run again. I kept asking myself, how are you gonna finish the 100 miles? Even the 50 miles pushed you near your edge. So I had to recalibrate. I had to make reaching the starting line my new goal and not even think about finishing the race or even about the race. It's 4 a.m. I've woken up. Couldn't record yesterday. But yeah. After waking up, I felt energized. I was visualizing myself going into this war, facing my biggest enemy, myself. On our way, everyone was excited and pumped up. We reached on time. The team went ahead to set up the tent area, and I prepped myself as the race was about to start in a few minutes. The race is called Tally in the Valley. It's a 7-kilometer loop repeated 23 times. As I stood at the starting line, I had these mixed emotions. I was grateful and excited, but I was also extremely scared. I had this fear. Everything you did till now allowed you to be here. The first morning run you ever did, your first 10K, your first 21K, your first marathon that you didn't even finish. And today you're about to run 4 of them back to back. Hearing the whistle, we all started our own journeys. Energies and heads were high up. I met a lot of runners. Many of them had done the course before. I got many tips and tricks from them. I wanted to get as prepared as I could. I also met a lot of first timers. Ricky was one of them. We were the youngest 2 in the race. As I was running, I was also taking these mental notes. I had divided the whole course into 3 parts. Level 1 was uphills and downhills. This was a nightmare for me. I had never ran such steep hills, and this was my first time running on a proper trail. Just after finishing my first level, my mind went, fuck. I have to repeat that 22 times. This is not what I had visioned the course to be like. Level 2 was a straight 2.5 kilometer flat road. And level 3, again uphills and downhills, but not as steep as level 1. After reaching just 3 kilometers, I started to get cramps in my right hamstring. I knew I was undertrained, but I was also thinking, if my body was to break, it would start after mile 45 or 50, not at mile 2 or 3. I adjusted my nutrition plan, started to take on more electrolytes and gels, from 2 gels per hour to 3 gels per hour. It did help with the cramps and allowed me to keep moving, but this created a new problem. It would arise in the coming hours. At mile 10, running pretty good for now. And yeah, trail is way harder to what I saw in road running, but looking pretty good, and the crew also helping out a lot. My body felt great. I was moving really good. I had just crossed the 25-mile mark. Everything was just perfect. At this pace, I would finish the race in just 24 hours. 25 miles, Q1 complete. It's a good race as of now. Feeling the heat and pretty juicy now. But things change really fast in these races.
How are you feeling so far?
Oh yeah, pumped up. At mile 25, I felt at the top of the world, performing at my best, giving my all. But as I reached the 30-mile mark, tables turned. I'm in a ton of pain. My feet are swollen. You could see my pinky toe pushing out of the edge of my shoe. And I was wearing a size bigger than my true size. The heat was also getting up to me. My mind started to play these games. It's hard. Call your friend. Tell them to pack up. We are leaving now. You can't make it. Your body is already done at mile 30. You are in so much pain. You are not even at the halfway mark. Why do you even think you can accomplish such a task? You are not built for something like this. This voice kept getting louder and louder. I was not able to stick to my nutrition plan. I could not eat any food. I couldn't move at the pace I wanted to move, and every other runner kept overlapping me. I was pissed at myself. I could also see some tension between my crew. I had explained my whole nutrition plan to Meena, and she was trying to feed me the right amount at the right time, but I just couldn't eat anything. I had increased my electrolyte and gel intake earlier to stop my cramping, and this made me feel nauseous and dizzy all the time. I hadn't eaten anything in the past few hours. Hit the 50k mark a few minutes ago, and it's done. 50-mile mark. Fuck, I'm done. Hit the 50-mile mark and just mentally I'm done. Trying to find the energy to keep moving, but just I couldn't show any weakness to the crew. At least I tried not to. They had come to support me. They were doing an amazing job at it, cheering for me, helping me out, giving me whatever I needed whenever I needed. I just couldn't let them down. I needed the mental space when I finished the loop to live as fast as I can. I was deep in the pain cave, trying to find strength. I knew I had to dig deeper. So it's night time. You can't see me. Fuck. But yeah, there won't be heat, so I'm running way better. And you can't see me right now. So here I am. Peace. The night had arrived. My body was broken, but mentally I was back in the race. I changed my clothes, I had rolled my legs. It was like having a new body again. I was eating crackers and teplas and Indian bread. I also told my team to pack them in Ziploc bags. It was much easier for me to eat them in the trail while running, rather than at the aid station. Around 10 p.m, the hallucinations started. I saw a puppy, I saw a Maasai, a tribe from Kenya, I saw a gravestone. It was kind of funny. I kept asking the guys, do you see that? I am seeing that. Do you see that? I was in a different zone. I knew I had more to give, but I also had to conserve to stay in the race. I didn't want to blow out earlier. A part of me felt I was lying to myself. I wanted to stay in this comfort zone of walking, as running required more energy and it would be more painful. But at the same time, my body was already thrashed and I dreaded every damn step that I took. Or had I just tapped into a newer, stronger version of me that I didn't even know existed at this level. I keep on piling laps. Jinay and Dipesh are pacing me throughout the night. I'm covering great distance. My legs got stiff. At around 2 a.m, I tried rolling my legs again as they got really stiff, but it didn't help this time. I was starting to enter another breakdown phase. I got extremely cold and started shivering as I rolled my legs. It was as if someone threw me into a river of ice. As the finish line neared, my body kept breaking bit by bit. I continued with the laps. Our mind is really strong. Everything that it said was on point. You are undertrained, you are not eating well, you have a very long way to go. Why do you think you can still finish this? But in that chaos, I had found peace knowing that I was pushing my limit, giving my all, not surrendering to my own thoughts or the societal norm. I reflected how far I had really come. In this moment, I learned the value of patience. True progress takes time. Don't rush your life. Allow yourself to expand. Don't be afraid to put yourself in harsh conditions. As the sun rose, I could see the loop again. The uphills, the downhills, the flat road that never ends. My mind kept showing me comfort. I would literally see the images of my bed, food, TV. It kept telling me what I could be doing instead of this. Part of me also told me to keep moving. One more step, another one, and another one. I was focusing on where my pacers Jinay and Dipesh are stepping, and I just replicate it. Playing mind games, setting mini goals like reaching that tree, that pole, that rock, that ridge, finishing level 1, then 2 and 3. I was not focused on finishing the race, it was finishing the level at which I was in. My last lap was the hardest by far. The voice still kept telling me to quit in my last lap. This showed me I had to stop listening to this weak voice. I was capable of pushing very far. I thought 50k was my maximum, but I broke that limit and I guessed 80k would be my next limit. But I took a chance and I am 155 kilometers in, still moving. I had been moving for the past 28 hours and I still felt I could go even further. I had come up short in my training phase, followed only 30 to 40% or even less of the total training schedule. I could have prepared way better mentally and even physically, and I was still pushing. How much was I truly capable of? As the finish line neared, I felt this war ending. I was victorious. I gained this mental strength that nothing else could have allowed me to get. A man can be ripped of almost anything. His money, respect, fame, status, even love. But no one can strip a man from his achievements. For they are not possessions of this world, but treasures of his own soul. I crossed the finish line after 28 hours and 38 minutes. I was really grateful for everything, especially my crew, who helped me accomplish such a goal. Everyone had put their best effort and it was finally worth it. This race taught me a lot. One of the biggest lessons I learned was to have the courage to take on big challenges. Another major lesson, you need to be true to yourself. You need to put in real work. You can literally lie to everyone and no one would know, but you would know. I failed in my training. I only followed 30 to 40% or even less. I kept lying to myself that I didn't have access to a track, so I never did a single track session. I made a ton of excuses instead of having a better scheduling routine and a training routine. It's a ugly thing to accept that you're not doing all you can, but I still managed to finish the race. How much am I truly limiting myself? Another lesson, when a problem arises, focus on finding the solutions. Don't waste any time in complaining. You'll be able to move through life 10 to 20 times faster. You have to find your true limits. Keep pushing, keep conquering your mind. 200 miles are be coming for you. Till next one.